Ross Lyon walked into the press conference with the tension of a man who had seen his team crumble on the big stage once again, but his demeanor. Classic Lyon, fire in the eyes, quick on the draw, and ready to deflect. After a 72-point thrashing at the hands of the Western Bulldogs, many expected a somber coach facing hard truths. What they got instead was verbal rope-a-dope, Lyon style. He ducked, he weaved, he jabbed with sarcasm, and just when it seemed the moment had passed, he grabbed onto a question about the crowd turnout and threw the spotlight right back at the media. That's the kind of distraction play Ross Lyon has perfected over the years. But don't be fooled. The real story isn't in the room where the questions were asked. It's out on the field where the Saints looked lost, lifeless, and frankly, beaten before the ball was bounced. This isn't just about one bad game. It's about a trend, a slide. A club that has gone backwards under a coach once heralded as a defensive mastermind, now struggling to inspire any forward movement at all. In Lyon's first season back in charge, the Saints showed grit. They made finals, they played with structure, and for a moment, it felt like something was building. But that feeling has faded. Fast. Now, 2 years in, that forward momentum has not just stalled, it's reversed. St Kilda aren't just failing to improve. They're regressing. And Lyon's tactics, once revered for their discipline and control, now look outdated in a game that's sprinted forward without him. You can talk about injuries. You can talk about youth. You can talk about rebuilds. But what you can't do is ignore the numbers. The Saints' form line is damning. Their scoring has dried up. Their ball movement is slow. Their confidence is shot. And their fans are starting to vote with their feet. That's where the question about crowd numbers struck a nerve. The truth is, Saints supporters are tired of waiting. Tired of hearing about the process. Tired of seeing the same mistakes repeated week after week. And yet, Lyon still commands the room. Still holds the microphone like a courtroom lawyer cross-examining reality. But while the words might dance, the results do not. The board, ever loyal, handed him a contract extension earlier this year. A show of faith, no doubt. A belief in stability. But faith isn't strategy. And loyalty without results is just stubbornness wearing a blazer. The hard truth is this: Ross Lyon hasn't taken a team to a grand final since 2013. He hasn't won one. His last decade in coaching is a catalog of near misses, missed opportunities, and now, a Saints outfit in slow decline. Yes, he brings experience. Yes, he brings structure. But does he bring hope? Does he bring belief? Because right now, St Kilda fans are left wondering whether their team is simply stuck in time. Repeating the cycle of mediocrity. Watching the same style of footy that suffocated games, but never quite strangled success. The AFL has moved on. It's faster. It's more fluid. The best teams play with flair and fire. Meanwhile, Lions Saints often look like they're waiting for the clock to save them instead of taking the game on. It's not all doom and gloom. There are players on this list with talent. Nasiah Wanganeen Malera has spark. Jack Sinclair is all class. Max King, when fit and confident, is a match winner. But under Lyon, these flames aren't being fanned. They're being contained. Lyon's system prioritizes control. But control without impact is just treading water. And this Saints team isn't swimming. It's sinking. Last week's game wasn't just a loss. It was a surrender. The Bulldogs tore through them, unbothered, unchallenged. They made St Kilda look like they were playing in slow motion. And that's not just on the players. That's on the coach. Leadership in football is more than media theatrics. It's more than verbal jousts. It's about results. It's about growth. And right now, St Kilda are getting neither. When Lyon first returned, there was hope that his second coming might be the spark. Instead, it's beginning to feel like déjà vu with a hint of decline. At 58, Lyon is a veteran. A man with a legacy. But legacies don't win games. Systems don't win premierships. Players do, when they're allowed to flourish, to take risks, to grow within a game plan that fits the times. Lyon's best years were built on suffocating pressure and defensive steel. But those days are fading. Today's AFL demands adaptability, creativity, expansion, and that's the shift St Kilda desperately need. The fans are loyal. St Kilda's faithful have waited since 1966. They don't demand miracles, but they deserve hope. They deserve a coach who can evolve, Who can take what's good and make it better, not just hold the damn wall and hope for the best. Post-match press conferences might be theater. But the real act is unfolding on the field. And the Saints, under Lyon, are performing like a team with no script and no direction. It's not too late to turn it around. But it will require more than words. It will require courage, the kind that admits when a plan isn't working and changes it. The kind that empowers players to create, not just contain. For now, the heat is on. And if Lyon wants to do more than spar with journalists, he needs to start winning football games. Because eventually, the headlines won't be about the banter. They'll be about the scoreboard. And the scoreboard, right now, is telling a story that no distraction can hide. It's time for answers. It's time for action. It's time for Lyon to coach forward, not just talk sideways.